Good afternoon, everyone. And today I want to talk to you about the one thing that is having a huge influence on your career progression, and that is your environment. Our environment really influences our behaviors, our actions, and our results. And it's probably something that we sometimes think about, but we don't really give it the time that we really need to understand actually how is our environment impacting everything we're doing every single day, about the goals we're setting, about the ideas we have, the vision we have for our career and our leadership, and ultimately the results we're getting at the end of the day. So while we know this makes sense for us, many people do not bring awareness on how their own environment is affecting them. And the purpose of today's short video is just to help you to get thinking about your environment and maybe some changes you can make that are within your influence to help you to move towards your career progression of the goals that you have set for yourself. Because in order to thrive towards achieving your potential, you need to be surrounded by people, support, surroundings that will encourage and also uncover the next level of awareness in your potential. So while we cannot always completely change our environment, we can choose to change what is within our control. And I know I've spoken about this before in other videos I've done, but one of the important things you need to be able to understand for yourself is the difference of what you have control of that you can choose and what's outside of your control. So there are three main circles. There's a circle of control, the circle of influence, and the circle of concern. So if you're thinking about your environment, you want to think about, what is within my control that I can change. So if it's within your control, you are fully in control of changing that. If it's within your circle of influence, it means that you can influence that change that you want to change about. However, it is dependent on somebody else or something else, but you do have an influence on it. And the third circle, of course, is a circle of concern. And the circle of concern is where you've absolutely no control over the outcome. So what we want to do is we want to think about where we're putting our energy. So if we're putting our energy into a space where there is no return, right? So as in the circle of concern, then it doesn't really make much sense for us to be spending too much of our time, if any of our time, within that space. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't care anymore. Of course, we still care. But what we want to do is we want to change that around, and we want to be able to move that energy into focusing our time within the area of circle of control and circle of influence. So environmental factors can include, you as an individual and your surroundings. And these can be, our relationships as well with our family, our peers, our clubs and our communities, your work environment. What are the microsystems that you find yourself in? That all of these are your environment, and these are having, an influence on everything you do. It's on your beliefs, your behaviors, your actions, and your results. And then, of course, there are the interactions between these microsystems, the interactions between all those groups I just mentioned earlier. And of course, the other areas of our environment are politics, media, and also the macro system of attitudes and culture. So we can choose how we shape our environment to align to our goals and aspirations. But firstly, of course, you need to define, well, what are your goals and aspirations for your career this year? And then do an audit of your environment and see, is this actually supporting you to get to where you want to be? And some simple actions would be thinking of, like, how can you interact with a group of individuals who have a similar or shared goals to you, have a similar mindset? How are you filtering out, different attitudes, ideas, behaviors that are really not in line with where you want to be, and filtering what dialogue you choose to be part of. As I said, filtering out attitudes and ideas that are misaligned to what you want for yourself in your career this year, and what you know to be true in relation to how you want to achieve your goals. So with that being said, and thinking about your environment, I want to ask you one question, and that is, how can you be more intentional about your environment, making choices about your filters, and how you can surround yourself with people, situations, and surroundings that can support you to get to the next level? So I hope this brings you some inspiration and ideas this week on how you can take the lead on your career progression.